the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant have another problem on their hands. Officials with Tokyo Electric Power Company say levels of radioactivity in the monitoring ground have reached more than 300 tons of highly radioactive water leaked last month out of the storage tank. The water's content seemed to be too acidic. Managers have assigned more monitors to check for radioactive materials.
I speak unto thee this day, and I say, hearken unto me. That is, realize that I, the living God, do give thee the truth, that you could walk in the same and be kept always. And I say, when any man will choose to walk in pride, I say that he's literally deified himself. That is, he has accepted and made self his God, because he is pleasing the same. Now I say, when a man will be full of pride, it is difficult for him to humble himself unto me. That is, it is difficult for him to bow down, to worship me, to serve me, to love me, and walk in my way. And I say it is because he has made a God of his own self and chosen to worship himself. That is, because he has given himself over to pride and self-esteem rather than the love of me. Now I say you are living in a time when so many have made a God of self. They have made a God of their pride, and oh, how they bow to the same. That is, they cannot humble themselves, admit they are wrong, and choose to walk uprightly in me. But I say instead they are choosing the way of fools. They are strange from my light, and yes, they are distanced from the truth. And I say it is because they have chosen to worship themselves rather than worship me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do not call thee to bow to pride, for I say that the same will take you right out of the way of life. And I say that pride will convince you that you are right when you are wrong. And I say that pride will make you stiff and dull, and it will cause you to harden your heart and be ever impudent towards me. For I say that pride is a force of giant deception, and it will cause a man to deify himself. That is, when a man will grow full of pride, then he sees himself as God, and he sees that all other things must bow unto him. And I say that means that he even thinks that I, the living God, cannot live without him, when it is not true. Now I say, when you see the ones who are full of pride and self-conceit, where do they end? I say they end in the way of damnation, destruction of soul. For I say that pride is a consuming force, an intoxicating force that will take a man far from me. And I say, when you see the proud fools who are boasting and strutting in their own way, I say you see men and women who are drunken before me. That is, they are full of the intoxication of their own way, and yes, they are loving it so. But I say the truth of it is they have no part of me, because they are strayed from my way. Now I say that I, the living God, do offer unto thee the way of truth, the way of life, and the way of mercy. But I say the way that I give to those who are mine is the humility way. That is, where they must continually recognize their utter need of me and seeking to be pleasing me. That is, where they recognize that it is me, the living God, they are meant to bow unto and not any other. Now I say, when a man will walk humbly before me, he will have no problem with walking in me. But I say, when a man will begin to drink of pride, then I say he is vainly puffed up in his own conceit and imagining he deserves oh so much. That is, he will be imagining false images about his own self as though he were some great king. And I say, in the process of it all, he is estranged from me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do not call thee to be drunk on pride, to be taken in pride, to be deceived by pride. But I say that I call thee to walk humbly before me, to be ever thankful that it is me, the living God, who will give to thee the truth, the light, the mercy of who I am. And I say that I call thee to be thankful that I will indeed be purposing thee, that you can be kept always by me. For I say it is me, the living God, you are meant to please and not any other. For I am indeed the way of truth and life, the way of mercy and hope, and the way of peace provided. Therefore I say, be walking humbly before me, be seeking to please me, and coming forth in my way. Now I say, you are living in a time when many have turned from me. They have taken up other gods, other lovers, and they are deceived in the same. And I say, the most prominent force that causes them to stray away is pride, which enters in. For I say that pride is a killer, and I say that pride rules over the land. And I say that men are so proud they cannot receive the counsel of wisdom, the counsel of truth, but I say they utterly despise the same. Now I say, when you see these strutting, boasting fools who have thrown off the truth and the light, the wisdom that is found in my word, and are declaring that men no longer have need of me, what do you think they have done? I say, in their own minds they have set themselves up to replace me. They have set themselves up as God, ruler, and king. And I say, all the while they are desiring for others to bow unto them, to bow to their great wisdom, and all of the antics that they put forth. And I say, it is because they are drunk, absolutely stone drunk on pride. That is, they are taken in pride, deceived by pride, and overwhelmed by pride. And I say, daily they drink of the intoxication of pride, and they stagger under the drunkenness of the same. And I say, it is because they have made a god of their own selves, and oh, how sure they are. That is, that they know it all, that they see it all, that they themselves are God. Now I say, this day when you look at the ugliness of pride as it appears before me, I say it is truly an abomination unto me. And I say, when men will rise up through pride and think they know more than they know, they are only deceiving themselves. For I say, it is me, the living God, who does offer to the sons of men the way of humility, that they can indeed be brought forth in me. But I say, when men will swell on pride, then they think they have no need of me, nor the sound counsel that I provide, for they are sure of themselves. Now I say, this day that I, the living God, will give to thee the truth, the light, the mercy, and the strength of who I am. And I say, if you will come forth rejoicing, ever make glad in me, then you are directed in my way. But I say, if you are ever resisting, resenting, and despising the way that I give thee, what shall you see? You shall see that the leaven of pride has caused thee to be swollen so far, you can no longer accept my humility way. Now I say that pride is indeed an infectious disease, and it has spread out as the covering over the land. For I say that pride and the rebellion that accompanies the same are looming as giants ruling in despotic and erratic rule. And I say, you see that those who are vainly puffed up on pride can be told nothing at all. And I say, you see, they scoff, they despise sound counsel and wisdom and the truth, because they are above the same. That is, so they imagine in the drunkenness of their pride, in the erratic behavior of the same, for I say they are far from me. Now I say this day that I, the living God, do not call thee to yield to pride, to be given to pride, to be ruled by pride. But I say that I call thee to be coming forth in the truth, the light, the strength, the mercy that I give day by day. And I say that I call thee to be walking uprightly in me, ever directed, corrected, and instructed in my way. And I say that I call thee to accept the humility way that I've set before thee, not blinded by pride, not overwhelmed by pride, not taken in pride. Now I say this day, when you look upon what it is that I, the living God, do give thee, I say that I give thee the way of my life. And I say, if you are willing to humble yourself, to bow down, to receive of me, then you are ever guided in truth. But I say, if you are taken in the pride that does seek to beset thee, overwhelm thee, and devour thee, what will you find? You will find that pride bears rule over thee in a bitter way, whereby you are separated from me. For I say, there are many even now who wander in desolation, who wander in emptiness and futility, and I say that it is because of pride. That is, it is because they yielded to pride, they yielded to the foolery, the vanity of the same. And I say, in the process of it all, they are taken far from me, and likewise overwhelmed in pride. And I say they are taken far from the truth, the light, and the mercy that I would have given unto them. And I say they are guided into a ditch. Now I say, when you see the blind, that is, the ones who are blinded by their own pride, leading others, where do you think they end? I say that all will end in a ditch because of pride, and oh, how they think it could never happen to them. But I say that is exactly the element of pride that blinds a man when he thinks he is right when he is wrong. That is, because he grown so loving of himself, of his own way, through pride, that he will receive no counsel at all, except the counsel of pride, that is drunkenness, that tells him he's right when he is wrong, that tells him that he is indeed superior to any who would give him the truth. For I say, when a man is thoroughly filled on pride, he is filled on the deception of his own way. But I say, when a man is bowing unto me, then he is brought forth in the truth, the light, the strength, the mercy of who I am. I say, therefore, this day, do not be quick to walk in pride, do not be quick to be deceived in pride, and taken far from me. But I say, instead, be quick to walk in the truth, the humility truth that I offer, and be thankful for the same. And I say, if I, the living God, do choose to use thee for anything, do not take the glory to yourself. For I say that the ones who have stolen my glory are regarded as thieves and liars before me, and found unacceptable unto me. Now I say, there are many in this age who are thieves and liars, taking the glory, strutting in pride and boasting as though they remain forever. But I say, the truth of it is, they are not even in me when they do those things. For I say, they have followed another spirit, they have taken another god, and I say they are totally intoxicated on the love of their selves. And I say, they are bowing to pride on every hand, refusing to bow unto me. Now I say, this day, if I, the living God, do give thee the cup of humility, I say, drink the same with thanksgiving and gladness, because it is me you are privileged to serve. And I say, be made glad that I give to thee the truth, the light, the strength, and the mercy day by day. And I say, be glad that you can indeed be uplifted, directed, corrected, and instructed always in me, the one who is caring for thee. For I say, if you accept the truth and the light that I give thee, you are ever guided forth by me. But I say, if you are rejecting of what it is that I, the living God, do intend and provide, then I say you are accepting of lies, you are accepting of deceit, and you are accepting of destruction. I say, this day, do not be accepting destruction by walking afar off from me, but I say, be ever thankful to be guided by me. That is, that you can come forth rejoicing in the truth, the light, the mercy that I give thee every single day. That you can come forth in humility, ever being guided in a straight and narrow way, and thankful for the same. For I say, you are not meant to be a proud fool who lives and dies in exasperation before me. For I say that a proud fool will swell up in his own exaltation, thinking he remains forever, but I say he is tiring unto me. For I say that he's turned from the way of life to the way of death, and I say he wallows in the same. That is, he grows more intoxicated daily by the input of his pride, which is strong drink, and leads him far from me. And I say he grows more and more bitter and hateful towards me, and accusatory of the life that I desire to provide. And I say that he literally becomes a despiser of humility, ever scoffing the same because of his pride. Now I say, when you look upon the proud fools, you can see why they are an exasperation unto me. For I say, they have turned aside, they have turned to drunkenness, they have turned to self-love. And I say, all the while in their own minds they are greater than any other man, any other woman, and yes, they are oh so near to me. Till the day comes that pride tells them they are greater than I, then I say they scoff and mock my way. Now I say, you can see the end of proud fools, it is destruction, and I say it is separation from me. And I say, you can see in this age that many proud fools are headed to damnation, to their own destruction, and oh, how wonderful they think they are. But I say they are counted as fools unworthy of me, because they chose the leaven of pride. And I say they are full of the deceit of the same, headed to their own damnation.
That's what you people are! You people are hypocrites!